Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call to order the January 2, 2024 Lower Saucon Township Council meeting. We'll begin with a call to order. Mark?
Ms. DeLeo?
Here.
Corona?
I'm here.
Ms. Atapudar?
Here.
Mr. Croce? Ms. Ray?
Here.
All right, and we will proceed with the new council members, and the new controller will be administered the oath of office.
This is Judge Ryan Pinella, who was just elected and sworn in. Congratulations and welcome.
Before we begin, I just want to apologize for the slight delay. I think on my way here, we hit every accident along the way on 78, so I just want to apologize. But as I understand, you're going to be swearing you guys in one at a time?
Yes.
Not a problem.
Want to sit down? You're ready for your wife.
Oh, yeah. All ready to go. Please raise your right hand. I, please state your name.
I, Laura Ray,
Do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend
do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties
and that I will discharge the duties
of council member of Lower Saucon Township,
of council member of Lower Saucon Township,
Northampton County,
Northampton County,
with fidelity.
and
Congratulations, Councilman. You waited for me. Please raise your right hand. I, please state your name.
I, Sullivan Young,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend.
that I will support,
Obey
obey, and support,
and defend
and defend, sorry, nervous,
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties
and I will discharge the duties
of council member of Lower Saucon Township,
of council member of Lower Saucon Township,
Northampton County,
Northampton County,
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations. Raise your right hand. Your other right. I, please state your name.
I, Victoria Aptoff Cordaro,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties
and I will discharge my duties
of council member in Lower Saucon Township,
as council member of Lower Saucon Township,
Northampton County,
Northampton County,
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations. Yeah, I'll walk over to you. I'll try. All right, please raise your right hand. I, please state your name.
I, Lynn Hill,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
and that I will discharge the duties
and that I will discharge the duties
of Controller in Lower Saucon Township,
of Controller in Lower Saucon Township,
Northampton County,
Northampton County,
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations. My service is still needed.
We're good.
Before I walk out of here, before I was elected, I had a heavy practice in municipal law. And I must say, honestly and truly, from the bottom of my heart, it is amazing to see a township that cares about their community. Thank you all for coming out. Lower Saucon's pride, congratulations to you as well. Thank you all.
All right, please stand and pledge the flag. All right, public comment procedure is available outside the council meeting room. Again, public comment is agenda items only, residents and taxpayers only, 3-minute time limit. And we'll proceed with the agenda. First one is Gita Sanjmani. Gita Sanjmani.
Thank you. My name is Geeta Sachnani, and I'm a resident of the Lower Saucon, and as well as a recent new staff member of the Hellertown Area Library. So I find it a privilege that...
Could you put the mic towards your mouth, please?
Thank you. It is my privilege that I, as a Lower Saucon resident, and the only staff member that is a Lower Saucon resident, that I got the privilege to be up here. I want to welcome each and every one of you. Thank you for joining the new council, and we're truly looking forward to positive outcomes coming out of this new council for the Lower Saucon residents who have gone through quite a bit of a challenge these past few years of not having a home with the library. And as a HAL staff, I have firsthand seen the struggles the library has been going through as well. So I'm really looking forward to the new council members meeting with the board of the library and coming to a consensus where both the residents and the library can thrive. And I have heard over the years that it's a small library, what can it offer? Let me tell you first, and I've been in this area for 10 years plus, I have seen my children excel because of this library. So yes, it is a small library, but then it is the heart of our community. And I'm really looking forward to some positive outcomes so we can continue to experience this, what this library has to offer for us. Thank you.
Larry Petfield. Larry Petfield.
Good evening, Council. My name is Larry Petfield, or Lawrence Petfield if you want to be formal. And I am a Lower Saucon resident, and I'm also a property owner in Lower Saucon. I'm here for the agenda item regarding the rezoning of Easton Road from light manufacturing back to residential. I've owned this property for over 40 years. It's vacant land, I don't live there. we, my wife and I, have been waiting for the most recent change for a long time. We were happy to see it change in the November, December 2022 timeframe, where it went from residential to light manufacturing. It would not be my chosen place to live in that area because of what surrounds it. We have I-78 just to the south of it, and we have to the north of it the LVIP property, which used to be the ex-Bethlehem Steel property. So I feel that this zoning change was good for the township. It should be able to generate additional tax revenue compared with what you're getting from our properties today. And in addition to that, with the dividing line for the Bethlehem Steel and Lower Saucon being the center of the road, it's just been very, very commercial out in that area. And as I said before, I would never want to live there. So, for all of the property owners along Easton Road, I think in keeping the LM zoning, it's going to help not hurt the property value. And I'm talking about raw landowners, and I'm talking about homeowners in that area. It's going to improve their value. Reverting this back to R40 is a step backward in considering those property values. So I ask you to please, all of you council members, to please seriously consider keeping this zoned LM. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next is Bob Laska. Bob Laska.
Good evening, fellow residents. And I imagine there are a few here this evening that are not residents of Lower Saucon Township. When Mr. Bononis at a council meeting brought up Lower Merion being sued for having a surplus of revenue, when he started out with the article that he read, that he referred to, he mentioned one time that they were sued not because of a surplus actually, but because they wanted to raise taxes on top of a surplus. Throughout the rest of his speech, he omitted that. He made a point of them being sued, but he forgot to mention each time that it was because they wanted to raise taxes on top of having a surplus. Convenient. When it came to the Steel City expansion, he said that it would produce $3 million plus in tax revenue. Well, if that were true, then we certainly don't need the landfill. But actually, his figures are wrong. It's nowhere near the kind of money that we would get from this. It's about a tenth of that, I think it comes out to. Question, why was there no mention of this surplus before the election? Would have been great to campaign on that. Perhaps it was because you were so sure that you were going to win the election and you already had another $3.2 million ball field planned. rezoning to LI out where we are, hundreds of acres, where people already are complaining about the truck traffic to the landfill because the roads can't even support it. Said if we don't have enough LI, the township could be sued. Whoever sued the township when they won could place their business anywhere they selected. My question is, why would a business ever want to place it where we are out there in the boondocks? There is no infrastructure. Perhaps he was more worried about it being placed next to his home. Easton Road,
Mr.
the
Glass,
ball
you have 3
field.
minutes are up. If you could wrap up this thought, please.
Certainly. Easton Road, the ball field, warehouses right across the road. It's in what has been rezoned LI. What was the plan for that? There's still no water there, no sewage there. And this is $3.2 million into the project. I have a lot more, but my 3 minutes are up. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Next is Larry Optop. Larry Optop.
Yes, my name is Lon Soptoff, I'm a resident of Lower Saucon, and my daughter is elected to the council, and I'm very proud to say that. Congratulations to Katie, but congratulations to everyone. By the way, we go by Katie in our family, not Victoria. Anyway, I want to congratulate you all on your election to the board. And also I wanted to just mention a few things that I'm concerned about. Is A, I noticed this ball field keeps getting more and more expensive. And I'm curious, are we going to have professional teams playing there? You know, because I wonder, maybe you could get the Phillies there or something. Anyway, that's the first thing. And then the second issue is, of course, I'm still having a problem with this garbage dump. And since I drive on there close to the garbage dump almost every day, I noticed that it's getting this
Mr.
worse
Optop,
and worse.
the landfill's not on the agenda, so if you want to save that for non-agenda items, you're welcome to do that, but this is for agenda items.
The ball field on the agenda?
The budget was on the agenda.
Anyway, you people have a nice day, and hopefully that this dictatorship will end soon.
It has.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Victoria Optov-Kodaro's mom, and I'm here to again congratulate her on her election, and also with Priscilla DeLeon and Laura Ray. I know that the Lower Saucon Township will move to become a more open, diplomatic, and diplomatic council, and I can't wait for that to happen. Okay, thank you, and
All right, next we have Russ Sutton. Russ Sutton.
First of all, I want to congratulate returning and brand new council members. It was a long-fought battle, and you won, and I'm so proud of you. It's the first time in 4 years I've had hope. So I just want you to know how much this means to me and to everybody in this room, that we have representatives that actually represent us. And hopefully we can be civil and have perfect discussions and not have one-offs, and be able to respect other municipalities and allow other people to speak, even that are not residents but have impact on our township. So that's my wishes. But again, congratulations.
Melissa Miranda.
Good evening. As he said, my name is Melissa Miranda. I live on Easton Road, and I congratulate you all and thank you for your service. I know that some concerns were fiscal responsibility, safety, choice, community, and of course our changing environment. I've been a resident of Easton Road since I'm 3.5 years old, and I was in support of the zoning change because then it would at least give us some opportunity and choice as to what we could do with the property. Returning it to residential only just locks us in there with a decreasing value on the property, and with all due respect, again, my parents couldn't get the value in the house, I moved in, I can't get the value in the house. My neighbors have rats, I'm just waiting for them to come, right? And so I would rather see the council perhaps focus on helping whatever projects come in to be environmentally friendly or that are more green in technology, because I do believe they bring those kinds of projects forth for voting, as opposed to leaving us landlocked with little choice, right? At least if it's LM, I could perhaps stay in the house and decide to use the house a little bit differently or the property a little bit differently. But if you change it back to residential only, then I don't really even have a choice. I know that most of the residents have already gone under agreement. I haven't, so I really am speaking as a homeowner that has not already made a decision. But don't want that choice taken away from us, the homeowners, who are been trapped between 78 and now the warehouse is literally right across the street. So thank you. I respect your time.
Thank you. Joe Ruben.
How about if I pass this week?
All right. All right, that concludes the council meeting agenda item speakers. Next we have the initial reorganization. So first we have election of council president.
I make a motion to appoint Priscilla DeLeon as council president of Lower Saucon Township.
And I would second that.
Mark, would you call the roll?
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Mr. Benonis?
No.
With pleasure, yes.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Can I have a gavel? Because it turned
Short hands now.
Okay, guys. All right, so moving on then.
Good start.
Yep, it is. Thank you for that offer. The election of council vice president. With that, I'd like to move to nominate Laura Ray. Would there be a second?
With pleasure, Laura Ray.
Okay. Mark, can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Benonis, how do you vote?
No.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you, everybody. What I'd like to do is take this opportunity to read something to you all. Good evening. I would like to congratulate Judge Brian Pinella on his election and thank him for swearing in the controller and the 3 newly elected councilmen. In Lower Saucon Township, as a result of the 2023 general municipal election for council, first place winner at 2,423 votes was the Honorable Priscilla DeLeon. Second place winner at 2,346 votes was the Honorable Laura Ray. Third place winner and at 2,326 votes was the Honorable Victoria Alpapa. The controller race We have 340 votes for Lynn, and they were all write-ins, so she did a good job banging out those write-ins. So congratulations. I'm so excited to welcome these remarkable women to Lower Saucon Township. It was an exciting campaign, grassroots, and we won it for 4 years. I won my 10th term in office on council. It has been an honor and privilege serving the residents for the past 36 years, and I'm glad to be back. Thank you to the bipartisan voters who came out overwhelmingly in support of our team, Saucon Valley Together. Laura, Victoria, and I will be working really hard to turn this township around and make it better than ever, respecting our residents. Let's stay positive. This is your township. This is your government. These meetings are for you. We will work to make this better, starting with improved communications. Our resolution to our residents is to be better. I would like to thank Mark and his staff for their help in the transition by working together to make this as smooth as possible. And I'd like to open it up to Laura. Would you like to say something?
Yeah, I didn't really prepare anything, of course, and I'm losing my voice. I do want to thank everybody for their support and their vote, and know that I am here to serve you. I'm honored to serve you. Have an open ear, so call, email, write, whatever, and I will speak with you. And I look forward to turning things around in our township.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you so much, Priscilla. First, I do want to thank everybody here in the audience. Thank you to my family. Thank you to all of the voters in Lower Saucon Township for all of your hard work. I feel that I sit here today not because of anything that I did, but because you all had the courage to use your voices and to speak for what you believe is right for Lower Saucon Township. And I am honored and humbled to be standing here and being next to you. And I feel that I am with you at all times. I encourage every single one of you to write into us, to call. I encourage you to come to council meetings, every single council meeting, and speak whether you agree with something on the agenda or you don't agree with something on the agenda. I feel democracy is very important to honor and to save. And coming to council and being a part of our local government is the first step in making sure that we all have a better future. So I want to thank Priscilla and Laura and everybody, the township staff, for welcoming me here today. And I look forward to serving you, and I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Okay, moving next on the agenda, we have the designation of council meeting time, place, and date for 2024. Mark provided the dates. It would be the first and third Wednesdays, usually, unless noted, at 6:30 p.m. at Town Hall. And it would be January 2nd, which is tonight, January 11th, which will be the budget meeting, January 17th, February 7th, February 21st, March 6th, March 20th, April 3rd, April 17th, May 1st, May 15th, June 5th, June 19th, July 24th, which will be changed to the fourth Wednesday, so that'll be a different, August 21st, September 4th, September 18th, October 2nd, which will be budget discussion, October 16th, November 6th, November 20th, December 4th, which is, what was the first one? December 18th, and that's for 2024. That doesn't mean that we can't have an extra meeting here and there, or cancel a meeting if there's no business. So please, if you're not signed up on the township's website, you can go on and click off the boards that you want to be notified when the meeting agendas come out, and that'll help you know what we're doing. So with that, does anybody on council have any questions regarding the meeting schedule? I'll make a motion then to approve it as written by the manager. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, and roll call, please.
Ms. Astos-Rivera,
Yes.
Ms. Ray,
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon,
Yes.
Mr. Bononis.
No.
Okay, moving on, we have the resolution.
I'm interested in the reason.
Okay, everybody, we're going to have to fight it. Resolution 001-2024, depository of funds. The staff recommends following Fulton Financial Advisors, Pliggett, Truist, and Ambassador Bank. So I'll make a motion to, for the staff recommendation. Will there be a second?
Second.
Okay, so Jason and Chris, and roll call please.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Mr. Benonis?
Yes.
Ms. Padilla?
Yes.
Motion passes.
4-2-0 to 1 with 1 absent, right? 4-2-0 with 1 absent. Resolution 02-2024, secondary signatures for disbursements. The township manager, the township controller, along with the council president and vice president, will serve as signatories for the year. Council should also name an alternate signer from council. So that would be Priscilla and Laura and Victoria, would you want to be the alternate? Sure. Okay, so with that, I move to appoint Priscilla as, and Laura and Victoria for the secondary signatures for this person. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so Jason. Priscilla. Okay, roll call please.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Mr. Benonis?
Yes.
Ms. Padilla?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Next, we have appointments by council. We have the township secretary, and what I'm going to do is, the similar items, I'm going to combine the vote. So what I'm going to do is read them first, and then call for the motion. So the first one we have is Resolution 03-2024, which is the township secretary, and that would be appointing the township manager as township secretary. The next one, we have Resolution 04-2024, township planning zoning administrator, and with that, it would be appointing, again, the township manager as the planning zoning administrator. And then C, for Resolution 05-2024, we have the right to know officer. This designates the township manager as a right to know, and with the director of finance assistant manager as the assistant right to know officer. So with those are the 3 items that I'd like to move to approve Resolution 04-2024, resolution number 05-2024, right to know officer, and that's it, right? The C. Where am I seeing? I'm missing one. I missed 03. Okay. So, sorry, A, B, and C. So that my motion would include 03-2024, which would be the township secretary. So that's my motion. Would there be a second? Second. Okay, so Chris and Jason, and can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Benonis, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Padilla?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next we have the township solicitors, and we have, and again, I'm going to combine this, these are going to go back. Okay, so first we have general civil, which is resolution number 06-2024. And the second one we have is planning commission and EAC, which is resolution number 07-2024. Number 3, zoning hearing board, resolution 08-2024. Number 4, open space solicitor, resolution 09-2024, township labor attorney, resolution 10-2024. So for the first one, resolution 06-2024 has been prepared, appointing Curtin and Heathner, LLP, with Mark Freed being the principal as the township civil general solicitor at the hourly rate of $180 for the attorneys and $100 per hour for paralegals for the above referenced services. The services involving subdivisions and land development matters, which would be paid by the applicant with an hourly rate of $235 per hour for attorneys.
I have some questions about that. So this is the first time that I've heard of Curtin Heathner and Mr. Freed being proposed to do solicitor work for the township. And I note that the proposal is $180 per hour for solicitor services and $235 per hour for subdivision land development matters. It's my understanding, I may be wrong about this, but it's my understanding that the proposed different rates violates the municipal planning code and it's illegal. The municipal planning code requires the solicitor to charge the same comparable rates Yet here, what we have are two different rates, and with regard to the increased rate of $235 per hour for subdivision land development matters, which is actually 30% higher than the solicitor services rate, it would serve as a backdoor tax. And Municipal Planning Code 53 PS 10,101 seems to prohibit this. And in addition to that, there's case law, Skepton versus the Borough of Wilson's Pennsylvania Supreme Court case, which prohibits backdoor taxes like this. And I believe also the local tax collection law prohibits this. With that said, the packet does not include any CV, resume, or any qualifications for Mr. Freed. No interview has been done by this council, as far as I understand. If there was an interview, then I believe it was done in violation of the Sunshine Act. I did review his practice areas on his website. I question his qualifications to do this work. If you look at his website bio, it lists appellate law, banking, commercial litigation, environmental law, insurance law, litigation, finally public sector law. He formerly worked for the DEP and was counsel to the Southeast Regional Waste Management and Water Supply Management Programs. He was also criminal prosecutor in the Pennsylvania Attorney General's Office Environmental Crime Section. Clearly, this has been in the works since at least December 20th. We had our council meeting. Mr. Sutton tripped over himself at the last meeting and announced that there was going to be change to the solicitor, and then recanted it. And then there were some posts, or at least a post by Saucon Shenanigans, alluding to this solicitor change in a social media post. This raises questions in my mind as to violation of the Sunshine Act, as to how this came to be. There's no information supporting this in any of the application materials, sorry, any of the agenda materials. And I'm wondering what the basis is for this change. We had a solicitor who was with this township for 23 years, and who is now being replaced summarily without any opportunity to remain in the position.
Okay, well, I appreciate your comment, and with that note, I'd like to amend the resolution 06-2024 and remove the for services involving subdivisions and land development matters, which would be paid by the applicant with an hourly rate of $235 per hour for attorneys. And if this motion passes, to appoint the law firm of Curtin and Hefner, they can look into that and get back to us with that rate. So with that,
Sorry, I don't understand your motion.
I'm making a motion to approve an amendment to Resolution 06-2024 to remove, for the time being, delete in this second whereas, where it says for services involving subdivisions and the rest about the rate. You're questioning the rate of the $235. So I'm asking to remove that and vote on the resolution with that taken out. And then subsequent to tonight, the solicitor can look into it and get back to us.
What if we have an applicant?
If I may,
What if we have an
personally, I'd
applicant
like
that
to
comes
be
in and is seeking subdivision land development matter approval, and we don't have a solicitor to take care of those? So now, an individual who comes in rightfully expects the township to promptly and fairly and accurately handle that application, and now we don't have a solicitor that's been approved to handle those matters. How do we deal with that?
If my motion passes, I will ask Mr. Freed to come up here and take his seat, and maybe he can respond to that. But right now, we have a motion on the floor, and Victoria, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I did have an opportunity to check out Mr. Freed after I saw it on the agenda, and I want to thank Mr. Bononis for reciting all of the information that was on the website, because I think it is important for the public to see that Mr. Freed not only has experience in DEP matters, which we have a landfill, so that's a very important issue for our township, but also deals with municipal law and litigation. And as you all know, we are currently involved in multiple levels of litigation. I appreciate the time of our former solicitor. However, I think that, at least I heard on the campaign trail, that there was a desire for us to move in a different direction. And some of the things that occurred last year were concerning as to the level of direction that our solicitor had under the direction of Mr. Bononis. And I do feel that a lot of his questions, if he has those questions, he should bring them up to an attorney. I don't believe that Mr. Bononis in his curriculum vitae lists municipal law. So I appreciate that he's trying to look into it now, but I think that he should seek another attorney for his questions, or ask Mr. Freed. So that's all I have to say. I would second the motion.
Let's be clear that the former solicitor, or soon-to-be former solicitor, did not act at my direction. He acted at the direction of the majority of council approved his actions. So to suggest that he was acting at my behest as an individual or as an individual member of this council is totally untrue.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor, and Laura, did you want to say something?
No.
Okay. Victoria, you seconded. Laura, can we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Abad-Padera?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes,
Mr. Benonis?
No.
Motion
Okay.
passes.
and thank you. And with that, Mr. Freed, would you like to come forward? This is Attorney Freed. Okay, so did you want to wait? Would you like to answer that question?
On the rates.
Yes.
So I can only tell you that it's my experience that virtually
Do you want
everyone,
to turn your mic on, please?
first mistake.
I'm not keeping a list.
You probably should.
Uh-oh.
It's my experience that virtually every municipal firm that I've seen does have different rates that they charge the municipality and different rates that they charge the applicant in a land development matter. But I am more than happy with it.
Thank you.
But I'm more than happy with it.
Thank you. Okay, so we're safe between now and the next meeting on January 2nd?
But in any event, if any applications come in the interim, I'm happy to do whatever work that under me.
Could you share with us what other municipalities you solicitor work for?
So I'm the solicitor in Silbury Township, Bucks County. I am the solicitor in Ivyland Borough. I am the solicitor in Euclid Township, Chester County. Our firm is also the solicitor in Middletown Township, Bucks County.
Just give you individual list.
Well, I do, you want to know the other municipalities that I do work for?
Sure.
So Middletown Township, I do some of their litigation and code enforcement work. I think that's probably.
All right, thank you.
Okay, moving on on the agenda. Number 2, we have Resolution 07-2024 has been prepared appointing Curtin and Hooper LLP with Mark Freeze being the principal as a planning commission and EAC solicitor at an hourly rate of $180. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Victoria, can we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Mr. Benonis? Ms. Abad-Padera?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, moving on, we have Resolution 08-2024 has been prepared appointing George Heisman, Esquire, as the zoning hearing board solicitor at an hourly rate of $200 an hour. There is no change in the rate from 2023. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay, a roll call, please.
Ms. DeLeon, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Benonis?
Yes.
Ms. Abad-Padera?
Yes.
Ms. Ray? Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Resolution 09-2024 has been prepared appointing Terry Clemens, Esquire, as the open space solicitor as needed at an hourly rate of $185 an hour, an increase of $10 from the 2023 rate. And I'll make that motion. Is there a second? I'll second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Benonis, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Abad-Padera?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next we have Resolution 10-2024 has been prepared appointing Curtin and Heathcare LLP as the township's labor attorneys at the rate of $225 an hour. I'll make that motion. Is there a
Question,
second?
I have a question about that. I don't see a CV resume or any qualifications that we're providing concerning any attorneys from this firm that would be doing labor work for the township. The question I have is how can we simply pick a firm without knowing its qualifications? It seems again to be a violation of Sunshine Act.
If I may, I think that the website speaks for itself. And I think that if you have any questions about the labor employment law, you can direct them to me, the solicitor, and in fact move on the motion, but I think that we should.
Well, we're not hiring a website, we're hiring an attorney, or hopefully it's a group of attorneys. and we don't have any information here before us to hire those attorneys to make that decision. At least a prior labor lawyer, Mike Miller, at his firm, we knew who Mike was. He had done work for the township for a number of years, very well, I'll add. So again, I have concerns that we're hiring a firm not knowing who we're getting as an attorney. We're just simply hiring a firm without any understanding of the basis of their expertise in this. And there's a proposal to pay them $225 per hour of taxpayer money.
I second the motion.
Okay, there's a motion, there's a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Hoffman-Dare,
Yes.
Ms. Ray,
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon,
Yes.
Mr. Benutis. Motion passes.
Okay, moving on to Township Engineer. Resolution 11-2024 has been prepared appointing Hanover Engineering Associates as the Township Engineer. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, Mara, and roll call, please.
Ms. Ray, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon,
Yes.
Mr. Benutis,
Yes.
Ms. Hoffman-Dare,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Resolution 12-2024, sewage enforcement officers. Hanover Engineering requests the following individuals be appointed as the 2024 sewage enforcement officers: Scott Brown, Jacob Schrade, Robert Grin, Christopher Taylor, and Luke Egger. The sewage enforcement officers rate for 2024 is $95 per hour. I'll move for appointment. I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Ms. DeLeon, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Benutis,
Yes.
Ms. Hoffman-Dare,
Yes.
Ms. Ray,
Yes.
motion passes.
Okay, next we have Resolution 13-2024, landfill, township landfill consultants, appointing Rich Stickler at the hourly rate of $110 as township landfill consultant as needed. Scott Brown from Hanover Engineering, Inc. as the host municipal inspector, with Jacob Schrey as alternate at the hourly rate of $9.50. I'll move for approval. $99.50, I'm sorry.
I'll second.
Okay, Victoria, okay, roll call, please.
Benutis, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Hoffman-Dare,
Yes.
Ms. Ray,
Yes.
Ms.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Next, we have Township EAC Open Space Consultant. Has been prepared appointing Matt Babbitt as the Open Space Consultant to the EAC as needed at the hourly rate of $85 per hour. And this has been received from Heritage Consultancy. I'll move for approval.
And we don't receive the resume or qualification for this. This seems to be some sort of payback or kickback to somebody whose branches are not known to this. It's $85 per hour of taxpayer money that we're using for this.
Well, Heritage Conservancy was, maybe Matt Babbitt wasn't, but Heritage Conservancy was the named firm. So this has been a passover for all the past year.
I understand that, but we don't have Mr. Babbitt's qualifications, and we're proposing to pay Mr. Babbitt $85 per hour.
I second the motion.
It's only as needed anyway.
Okay, can you make that motion?
I second the motion.
But it's only as needed basis anyway, which has been very rare.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Hoffman-Dare,
Yes.
Ms. Ray,
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon,
Yes.
Mr. Benutis.
No.
Motion passes.
Okay, moving on, we have Resolution 15-2024, Township Auditor. Council received an engagement letter for the 2023 annual audit to be conducted by Hutchinson, Dillingham, and Free. The staff recommends continuing the services of Hutchinson, Dillingham, and Free for their October 25th, 2023 letter. The base rate for the 2023 audit will not exceed $18,250. Additional services will be payable at the hourly rate of $175. I make a motion to approve Resolution 15-2024, appointing the township auditors, or second.
Second.
Mara, roll call, please.
Ms. Ray, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon,
Yes.
Mr. Benutis,
Yes.
Ms. Hoffman-Dare.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Next, we have resolution for the township actuary. The staff recommends continuing the services of municipal finance partners, Chuck Freelander, for their rate schedule. I don't have those numbers written down.
$275 to $325.
How much?
$275 to $325 per hour, which is the same as it was last year.
So with that, I'll make a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call please.
Ms. DeLeon, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Benonis?
Yes.
Ms. Alcantara?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next we have council liaison appointments to volunteer boards. I will make a motion to appoint the following council members to the following boards, and also the alternate if appointee is absent. So the first on the agenda would be Parks and Rec, and that would be Laura and Chris as the main appointee, and the alternate would be Priscilla and Victoria. Saucon Valley Conservancy, the main person would be Priscilla, and alternate Laura and Victoria. Lower Saucon Authority, Victoria would be the main person, Priscilla and Laura as the alternate. Landfill Committee, Priscilla and Victoria, with Laura as the alternate. Let's Franklin Schoolhouse, Laura, with Priscilla and Victoria as the alternate. Environmental Advisory Council, Laura, with Priscilla and Victoria as the alternate. Pension Advisory Committee, Priscilla, alternate Laura and Victoria. Fire Services, Victoria and Laura, Priscilla as alternate. Hellertown Lower Saucon Chamber, Priscilla, Victoria and Laura as alternate. Saucon Rail Trail Oversight Commission, Victoria with Chris and Laura as alternate. Planning Commission liaison, Victoria with Laura and Chris as alternate. Historic Committee, Priscilla, Victoria and Laura as the alternate. With that, I make a motion. Would there be a second?
I second.
I second. Victoria. Okay. And Sarah, roll call, please.
Mr. Benonis, how do you vote?
No.
Ms. Alcantara?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next we have reorganization resolutions and fee schedules, and I'm going to read A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then we'll make one motion to combine them, since they're all salaries. So the first one, we have Resolution 17-2024, manager salary. The manager sets the salary at $135,795.20. B, we have the Resolution 18-2024, chief of police salary. The chief of police salary is set at $113,516.30. Next, we have the director of finance, assistant manager salary, Resolution 19-2024. And her salary is set at $88,026.06. Next, we have Resolution 20-2024, Director of Public Works, and his salary is set at $90,458.70. We have the 2021-2024, the zoning officer salary set at $78,840.21. The next one, Resolution 2224, administrative assistant salary at $52,419.07. And then we have Resolution 23-2024, administrative assistant salary set at $50,923.20. So,
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23, 2024.
so that would be A to G.
A through G.
Okay, I'll second that. And roll call, please.
Ms. Padera, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Mr. Boone? Motion passes.
Okay. So then, back to pages here. The next one, I believe, is resolution 24-2024. It's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Happy New Year. Sorry. We have non-uniform employee pay scale, and that's set by the contract. So I would like to combine that one with resolution 25-2024, which is the township police officer pay scale. Again, that's set by contract. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve both.
Second.
Okay, so Chris and Jason, roll call, please.
Ms. Ray, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Mr. Boone?
Yes.
Ms. Padera?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next we have 26-2024, the non-uniform employee pension fund contributions. And adopts the employee contributions to the non-uniform employee pension fund for 2024. Going to combine that with resolution 27-2024, which is the uniform employee pension fund contributions. Again, it adopts the contributions to the uniform employee pension fund for 2024. I'd like to make that as a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Ms. DeLeon, how do you vote?
Yes?
Mr. Boone?
Yes.
Ms. Padera?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next we have township fees. I guess there's some, do you want to go over that? There's some changes. We have resolution 28-2024.
Yeah. Major changes were just to the escrow fees, so that when someone submits a grading plan or stormwater management plan, we'll collect more money from them up front, so that we hopefully that'll cover the cost of the job, rather than having to go back after people to get more money when like a Hanover review goes over or a legal review goes over. So looking to just increase those.
Mark, what were the numbers before when you proposed it here?
Each of the escrow fees in section 6 increased by $1,000.
You doubling it?
Yeah, just to cover our costs. And then that money goes back to the resident if they don't use it.
Are there instances where they have not used up the entire escrow under the old fee?
There is some, unfortunately, it depends on the engineer that the residents use. If the engineer, if it goes back and forth multiple times, then we run into a problem where the fee is not enough.
So when the fee's not enough, you then go back to the developer, whoever's making the proposal, and you get more money from them?
We have to try to do it. Sometimes it's not as easy as
But if they don't give you the money, then the
project just
it
stops.
stops.
Yeah.
So
then
they're
it's a delay.
incentivized to cooperate with you and give you the money, aren't they?
They're incentivized to
And that really is sad because, you know, we have a regulation book that's like this thick, and when you hire an engineer to do your work, and you say, here's the code, follow it, and then there's pages and pages and pages of outstanding issues, correct? And that's why they're like,
Sometimes.
It just seems like an excessive burden to those that are coming in. You're forcing them to put up thousands of dollars more money to complete a project that they're obligated to cooperate with, that they're obligated to provide with more money, and that in most respects they provide you with the additional money when needed, correct?
Eventually.
but we didn't think that way with the landfill, so we just kind of laid out the red carpet.
We also added a fee for the well isolation request. We did not have a fee for that. And that's about what it cost us to have Hanover review that.
Can I ask a
Which one,
question?
isolation request, Mark?
Yeah, well isolation, we're getting more of those. So it's a $200 fee.
Priscilla, can I be recognized?
I didn't hear it.
Can I be recognized?
Can you
Be recognized.
Oh,
Thank you. Mark, did you happen to check the fees against other municipalities and what was the custom for these types of requests?
I did not. Jim Young prepared these. They're not out of line from what other townships I've been to. But, I mean, if you want to leave them at the 1,000, that's fine. We'll continue to go after people.
Have you had to expend township resources in going after people for unpaid fees?
No, it's just township staff has to go after people, and sometimes people are upset that they're charged more. When someone pays the escrow, most times they don't understand that the fee may go over that and have to pay more.
Okay, so this is just to prepare the residents in the event that they do involve more back and forth, and it gives them the opportunity to get money back at the end of the day instead of the township.
We're trying to cover the cost up front. Any money that is not used is returned to the resident.
Okay, I second the motion.
Mark, when you first take in money from an applicant where they're giving an escrow fee, do you tell them this is a limited finite number and that they may need to provide more money in the future if it goes over the escrow that they provided?
We do.
And they understand that, obviously.
I'll make that motion in a second, please.
I believe so, yes.
Motions, I'm sorry.
Yes. You made a motion, I second.
Okay. Okay, roll call, please.
There you go. All right, Mr. Benonis, how do you vote?
No.
Ms. Rivera?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next we have resolution 29-2024 on-lot sewage permit application fee. So it establishes a permit application fee schedule for on-lot sewage systems for 2024. I'll make that motion.
Mark, are these the same fees as last year?
Yes, sorry. I don't remember which one we were on.
Excellent.
Okay, I'm sorry, did I make that motion?
I'll
Yes.
second.
Okay, Jason, okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Rivera?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Mr. Benonis?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next we have the Township Tax Administrator. The resolution continues to appoint Keystone Collection Group as the Township Tax Administrator / Deputy Tax Collector for the year 2024.
Mark, we continue to use Keystone from last year, correct?
Correct, yeah. And they also collect for the county.
That's right. And they're still using the space over next door?
Correct. Yep.
I second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. Ray, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Mr. Benonis?
Yes.
Ms. Rivera?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next we have an agenda and code of conduct policy. I'm going to read it because it's been revised. So, this is Resolution 31-2024. A resolution of the Council of Lower Saucon Township adopting an agenda policy and code of conduct for township council meetings. Whereas Lower Saucon Township is the township of the second-class optional plan of government located in Northampton County, Pennsylvania, and is governed by an elected council. And whereas the Pennsylvania Home Rule Charter and optional plans of law and second-class township code and Lower Saucon Township Administrative Code all authorize the Council of Lower Saucon Township to promulgate rules and regulations for its council meetings. Whereas the Lower Saucon Council is authorized to establish a level of civility and promote an atmosphere of reasoned expression of ideas in promulgating rules and regulations for its council meetings. Whereas the council recognizes public comment is intended to afford citizens an opportunity to bring important matters to the attention of Lower Saucon Township Council. Whereas the council is a strong advocate, should be A in there? Should the council is, I'm sorry, should that be an A in there? I'm just catching it now. The council is a strong advocate of free speech and wishes to promote an atmosphere of reasoned expression of ideas. Now therefore be it resolved that the council of Lower Saucon Township establish the following rules and regulations regarding the agenda for public meetings and public comment and conduct during such public meetings. So the agenda, all regular and special meetings of Lower Saucon Township Council shall be conducted under the following order of business. Roman numeral 1, opening, we have A, call to order, B, roll call, C, pledge of allegiance to the flag, D, announcement of any executive sessions applicable, E, public comment procedure, 2, presentations hearing, 3, developer items, 4, township business items, 5, miscellaneous business items, 6, council and staff reports, 7, public comment, non-agenda, 8, adjournment. Did you want to change that? Okay, so then the township manager, in consultation with the council president or acting council president, and in accordance with the code of Lower Saucon Township, shall prepare a printed agenda for each meeting of the council and provide the same for public review at least 3 days prior to the commencement of each such meeting. The agenda and any non-confidential accompanying material shall be posted on the township website. The agenda without material shall be posted at the township building and copies shall be available at the meeting. Public comment and participation. 1. Public comment relating to such agenda items shall occur during council's consideration of the agenda item. That's a change. In addition, a public comment period during which comments may be received on non-agenda items shall occur at the end of the meeting and be listed on the agenda as public comment. Number 2, public participation, including public comment, shall be within the discretion and under the direction and control of the council president or acting council president. Number 3, a person wishing to make comments to the agenda to the council must state their name, affiliation, and municipality of residence. Number 4, commenters shall announce their name prior to addressing the township council. Number 5, public comment may be made only by a person who has been recognized by the council president. Number 6, comments about items on the agenda will be limited to no more than 5 minutes per person. Number 7, the council president or acting council president shall, in his or her sole discretion, be permitted to expand the individual comment period. Number 8, organize groups of people attending the meeting to present a common position or idea to the council to designate no more than 2 of the members to speak for the group. Number 9, no commentator will be allowed to surrender his or her time to any other person or to call upon other persons for comment. Number 10, no person shall obstruct in any way the entrances or exits to the township council meeting room. Number 11, the commenter shall address township council from the lectern situated in the center of the township council meeting room unless the commentator is physically unable to do so. Number 12, all public comment will be addressed to the township council. Nothing herein shall require any council member to answer questions or engage in debate. Members of the audience may not address other members of the audience or argue, speak, or yell back and forth at each other. 14, to facilitate the business of the township and to maintain order, there shall be no foul or vulgar language used or gestures made during the meeting. 15, comments should be substantive and not include any defamatory content and or personal attacks on the integrity of others, whether or not present. Number 16, letters shall not be read during the public comment unless such letter can be read within the allotted 5-minute limit for individual public comment. No extension shall be granted for commenter regarding reading a letter during public comment unless permitted in the sole discretion of the council president. Any letters cited or read may be submitted to the township manager. 17, copies of any documents being reviewed or discussed during public comment shall be made available to council. 18, at all times, each attendee at a council meeting shall respect the point of view of others. No comment disagreeing with another's point of view shall involve a personal attack on the character of others with a different viewpoint. 19, any conduct disruptive of the council meeting and interfering with the business of the township, such as talking when not recognized by the council president or acting vice council president, talking beyond the allotted time, or the use of a cell phone shall not be tolerated. The council president or acting council president will rule out of order any speaker or comment which is defamatory, contentious, scandalous, impertinent, redundant, or disruptive to the proceedings of the meeting. 21. If the conduct and order of the township council meeting is no longer maintained, the council president or acting council president may recess the meeting to restore order, so the business of the township may be conducted when the meeting resumes. 22. Public comment shall not contain personal attacks of any nature directed towards or against any council person, employees of Lower Saucon Township, members of the audience, or any other persons. 23. A period of public comment shall be placed at the end of each agenda for comments relating to non-agenda items. The rules and regulations contained herein shall apply to this public comment period as well. 24. The purpose of public comment shall be for people to comment on matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which are not or may be before the council prior to official action being taken. Council will not respond to comments made during the public portion of the meeting unless it is necessary to ask a clarifying question, correct a factual error, or provide specific information. The purpose of public comment is not for people to engage in argument or debate with council members or the administration or other residents, and the council president shall maintain order in accordance with such. With such purpose, this resolution shall repeal and replace Resolution 31-2023, resolved and adopted this day, second day of January 2024. So with that, I'd like to make a motion, but we have some clarifications that we'd like to discuss. First of all, I think the letter A is missing, from this whereas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a strong, do you agree with that? Okay. So that would be amended to include the A. And just so everybody knows, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth whereas, right here, is a strong advocate. Okay, and then Mark, I know, does this mean you wanted to change the way the agenda was?
That I do want to, not right now, I want to add in 16, if I'm going to receive letters, I have to give people a deadline.
Okay.
Noon the day of the meeting.
Okay. So we will be put that.
In 60, all letters must be received by the manager by noon the day of the meeting.
Okay. And I'd just like to say to the public, I know you might think this is being strong, but this is here in case we need to use it. This doesn't mean that it's going to be enforced to the letter of this law. So just so no panic here. So, if I
Michelle, you
may.
misspoke on number 24.
Did I say it?
You said, so what you said was the purpose of public comment shall be for people to comment on matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which are not, or may be before the council. I think you meant to, did not mean to use the word not.
So where in number 24 is that?
The second line, after you said deliberation which are not, or may be before council. I think you meant to say which are.
I apologize, I misspoke, so I'll read it again. The purpose of public comment shall be made for people to comment on matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which are or may be before the council prior to.
That did not.
No, she said
I
not.
said it again?
Oh, she
I was
did say-
mistaken, she said not. I think she misread it. When you intended it to be as it was written, not as you said, correct?
Correct, right, I'm going by the paper now.
That-
Do I need to keep reading it, or?
No, as long as the word not is part of this,
Right,
the document, I think, is what controls here.
okay.
May I ask a question as to who prepared this?
I think we all, Mark and I, kind of sat and talked about this.
Worked on it.
Yeah.
Right, so I have a question about under number 2, below agenda, the township manager in consultation with the council president and in accordance with the Code of Lower Saucon shall prepare a printed agenda for each meeting. What is meant by the words in consultation with? Because it seems to me that the council president shall have a veto over what the township manager proposes here. And if that's the case, then the word should be changed to publishes what the township president tells him what he's supposed to put in the agenda. That's far more restrictive than what we had previously, which required 2 council people to put something on the agenda. If there's going to be a super veto by the council president, that seemingly precludes other members of council from fulfilling their duties as council people and getting items on the agenda that are of importance to the township presidents.
Okay, so that's an opinion, so,
Can I get an answer to that? Is that the way this is intended to operate? Is it intended to be that the township manager is going to receive his instructions as to what can be put on the agenda by the council president? Because as it's written now, it says in consultation with the council president. So what is meant by the words in consultation?
I took it as I will work with the council president to come up with the agenda.
Okay. So you're not taking your directions from the council president when you're creating the agenda.
Correct.
You're just simply getting requests from council members. You'll let the council president know what you're intending to put or what you're interested in putting on the agenda, and then you'll proceed with using your own discretion.
Yep.
the administrative code says that the manager is supposed to prepare the agenda.
Correct.
So, and any board I've ever served on, it always, the president usually gets to review it before it goes out as public, so.
I think the whole council gets to review before it's out to the public.
No, I don't think so. Okay, so,
If I can, Priscilla, be recognized. I think that this public comment policy is a good thing for our township. Number one, it provides the ability for anybody to come speak before us. We are a township that is next to other townships, and a lot of our business impacts everybody else around us. And sometimes what other townships have or other municipalities have, they might have business that they want to let us know about. And I think that bringing more people into our council chambers to discuss issues is important. So this makes it free and clear for anybody to come and speak before us. We also, everybody knows, we've had this 3 minutes for quite a long time, and it was very restrictive, especially because you had to lump all of your comments for every single agenda item at the beginning of a council meeting. And now what we are doing is after every agenda item, there will be a period that you can comment on that agenda item specifically, and you will have 5 minutes. And you will always be given the opportunity to extend that time if you so wish. Of course, if we had a lot of people, we might have to keep you at 5 minutes for that specific agenda item. But this will allow you to use all of your 5 minutes on one item instead of maybe there are 10 items on the agenda and you have to figure out which ones you want to comment. So I think it's a wonderful thing for our municipality to be open and free for everybody to speak. So I appreciate that this was prepared, and I second the motion.
I don't understand exactly what you said. And is that every agenda item will have a public comment period before each agenda item? And at each agenda item, every person wishing to speak will get 5 minutes?
Well, I heard Priscilla read it. I think you heard her read it. I believe that's my understanding of what it says.
Well, let me ask the solicitor how this will operate.
That's what I understood it to say, and frankly, that's the way I've seen it operate in almost every other township or
The other 2 or 3 we serve.
prior to,
That's all.
prior to the other resolution that was passed, that's the way we did it. We had each agenda item open to public comment. So we're going back to more responsive.
That is the way we operated several years ago and for a long time, and it really didn't seem to be a problem. I don't think meetings went terribly long, but like Victoria mentioned, you didn't have to try to combine. If you had 3 items that were important, trying to put them all into one little statement in 3 minutes is very difficult, and we've heard that repeated over the years here, the last couple of years, and getting rid of that would be great. Also, I'm hoping we never have to read that whole long list again, personally. It's boring. I won't do that.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Can we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Leon, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Benoit?
No.
Ms. Abdel-Kader?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Okay, I believe we're at the point now, help me out here, appointments to various boards and council committees. Is that where we're at? Okay. So, I would like to read the appointments for the various boards, and at the end, I will be making a motion. So, for the zoning hearing board, we'd like to appoint Jeffrey Brzezinski. Planning Commission, Tom Bartek, Veronica Gress, Sharav Karskis, if I'm saying that correctly. For the EAC, we have Laura Ray and Jennifer Helton as voting members. And for the non-voting, which are, I should say that Jeffrey Brzezinski, he gets a 5-year term. I apologize. Planning Commission, they're each 4-year terms. For the EAC, Laura Ray and Jennifer get 3-year terms. The associate members are a 1-year term, so that would be Janine Bonham, Kathy McGovern, Chad Heimbecker, Russ Sutton, and Winfred Clark. Parks and Rec, which is a 1-year appointment, we have Melifar Tony, Jerry Hollum, Maya Simon, Robert Blasco, Sean Yanchek, Bill Spoon, and Kevin McGovern. And they're 1-year terms. Lower Saucon Authority, we have a 5-year term, and that would be George Gress and Sean Yanchek. For Township Historian, we have Karen Samuels, and she's the township for 1 year. The Historical Committee is also a 1-year term, and that would be Karen Samuels, Jody Hijazi, Brian Morrow, Mark Connor, and Patricia Weaver. They serve for 1 year. Emergency Management Coordinator, Brian Evans, and he's 1-year term too, right? Yeah, 1-year term. Landfill Committee, appoint Matt McLaren, Brian Morrow to a 1-year term. Pension Committee, Lawrence Optoff, his term would expire 2026, and Sharav Halsik, his term would expire, filling an unexpired term for 2024. Bill Chazar is a 1-year term for Fire Marshal, and I believe that's the end of our appointments. I want to just thank everybody for appointing. We got an overwhelming amount of letters of interest, and thank you for saving them for future. It's going for people who resign, and thank you. So with that, I'd like to make a motion to appoint as stated, and would there be a second?
I second. And I just wanted to make a comment if I could. I got to see all of the people that presented their applications, and it was really wonderful to read every single person's curriculum vitae, but also their emails and their forms that they submitted to indicate what their backgrounds were. There are a lot of people in this township that have wonderful, wonderful assets and wonderful things to offer. And please know that a lot of our boards, they have positions open every year. So we did have many boards where there were more people that applied than there were spots available to fill this time. So I do encourage you that if you applied this time and didn't get the board that you were interested in, or that you didn't get appointed, please continue to express your interest, because we would love to continue to have more people on and new bright faces. So thank you. I do second the motion.
Okay, we have a roll call, please.
Mr. Benoit, how do you vote?
Mark, were these recommendations that you provided?
I provided everyone with all the forms that I got and the people that wanted to go back on, letting the board choose who they wanted.
So that you didn't make any recommendations as to who these individuals were going to be on these committees?
No, I don't know anyone that well yet. Ms. Abdel-Kader?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. Deland.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, moving along, where are we? We have. Okay, I'd like to have a motion to adjourn the reorganization part of the meeting. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second, but everybody please note, there's more to come. We have to roll into the next meeting, so don't leave.
I second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Alpha-Kader,
Yes.
Ms. Ray,
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon,
Yes.
Mr. Benoit.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to open the general business meeting, and we don't have an executive session scheduled. So moving on, we have to the authorization for attendance at the annual PSATS conference and voting delegate. Do you want to address that?
Yes, I reached out to every member of the council, and everyone would like to attend the conference this year. The annual PSAT conference is put on by the State Association of Townships. An opportunity for council members and staff to go out and learn about government and such. The conference is from April 14th to 17th. I would also like to attend the conference. With that, the council members and staff would go. The township pays a reservation fee, the lodging, mileage, and meals, excluding alcohol to a specific daily limit. After you choose or vote to allow all of the council and myself to go to the conference, then you will need to choose a voting delegate.
I make a motion to approve the, everybody going to the PSATs, and I also motion for Priscilla DeLeon to be the voting delegate.
Okay, I'll
Two
second.
separate motions or one?
It's all in one.
Do we need two separate? I don't think we do. Oh, well, we have to approve, we have to be separate, we have to approve the voting delegate.
I combine the
Okay.
approval of everybody to go and appointing you as the voting delegate.
Okay. Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Can we have a roll call, please?
You need a second.
Second.
Good.
Okay, roll call, please.
Ms. DeLeon, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Benoit?
Yes.
Ms. Alpha-Kader?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next we have authorized staff to prepare an ordinance for council's review amending the zoning map for an area on Easton Road to change the zoning from LM back to R40.
May I ask who requested this? I have not heard from a single resident since we rezoned this area almost a year ago. And tonight we heard from at least two residents who were opposed to what's being proposed here. We did not hear from any residents who were in support of what's being proposed here. So it's unclear to me as to what the order of this is, considering essentially the silence in support of what's being proposed, and in fact, comments by residents that they are against what's being proposed.
Well, I heard a lot of comments about this along the campaign trail, about residents being very, very upset about this.
Do I have their names?
No, I don't have their names.
So it's just conjecture at this point.
No, it's not conjecture.
Let's say
It's
at-
face conversation, Jason.
I will say at the meetings where the hearing was held to change the zoning, there was plenty of people, so it would be on record in the minutes, names of people.
Well, I'm just going to go on the record at this point and say that the township is likely going to get sued if this moves forward, but that's up to the majority of council who votes for this.
If I may be recognized.
Yes.
So I do appreciate this being on the agenda this evening. I happened to attend that council meeting, which I think was actually earlier in 2023. It was like January or February where they actually had the hearing, and I remember the room was just about as full as it is this evening. And I remember a lot of people that came to the lectern and they spoke about their concerns of the increased truck traffic. I also have concerns about the fact that we don't have public sewer and we don't have public water. And my third largest concern, I shouldn't say largest, but it's up there, is that during this period of time in which we rezoned the area light manufacturing, we decided to invest now over $3 million on a state-of-the-art ball field. And I've double checked, Mark, that ball field is currently sitting in the light manufacturing district, is that accurate?
Correct.
So, from my perspective, the investment for our park system, it would make more sense to keep an area residential, especially when we're putting $3 million on that road, as opposed to allowing for additional things. I think I appreciate the people that came out today. I didn't see you at the other meeting, but I really appreciate what you said. I think maybe one of you might have been at the first meeting. And I want you all to know that if this is just a first step, and if the township does prepare this, we have the opportunity to then have a hearing where everybody can come and speak and provide information. And I would want to take everybody's position on this, whether or not you have a vacant piece of land or whether you live there. I can just say that right now, based upon the information I've heard, I see that we do have some concerns with the investment on the ball field and the lack of water and sewer in that area, and the trucks that come on Easton Road already being a burden to the community. So I guess I will second the motion for us to, did you make a motion for Solo? She didn't, never mind. So I will make the motion.
Okay, and I'll second it, but I have discussion. I remember from the last time when this was on, we also talked about the R40 zone being silent in a lot of areas that some other zoning might have for like a mom and pop industry, or like something giving them more of an opportunity for their homes. I don't know if that's something we're going to look at into in the preparation of this ordinance.
So perhaps we could look at the zoning designation of R40 to see whether we permit other uses. And I think that that area could be useful, and I do want to, so I would be agreeable if you want to amend the motion to ask our manager to look into what other uses we could create an area that kind of maybe has a harmony between residential uses and uses other than warehousing. That's my biggest concern. Light manufacturing includes warehouses. So
I'll amend my motion.
So what is it you're trying to do here? Because what it was before was GB1 and GB2, which were two different zoning designations, which are general business 1, general business 2. And those two business-related zoned areas were changed to LM, light manufacturing. And now what you're proposing is something that is more restrictive, R40, which is more restrictive than what was originally there as GB1 and GB2. Is that correct? What you're trying to do is actually change the zoning to make it more restrictive to any sort of development other than what's permitted in R40.
I think it was originally R40, it wasn't GB1, GB2.
Well, I'm looking right now at the ordinance, 2023-01. It talks about changing approximately 19.6 acres of land from GB1 and GB2. And then it also talks about,
It's on 412.
I'm sorry, you're right. Thank you.
Easton Road section was R40.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have an amended motion on the floor. There's no other discussion. Can we have a roll call, please?
Mr. Benonis, how do you vote? Ms. Alpappadero?
I vote yes with the amendment.
Ms. Ray?
Yes, with the amendment as well.
Ms. Leo?
And yes with the amendment.
Motion passed.
Okay, thank you. Virtual meetings. Council will discuss virtual meeting options for council meetings and other township meetings. Mark?
So we instituted YouTube, or we have some people watching this out there. Your other option that we talked about was doing a Zoom meeting where you could allow public participation over Zoom. I would like to meet with the solicitor if that is your way. I was thinking we would also have to work on, talk with the AD system to get that programming completed, if that's what you'd like. But I definitely would like to see rules put in place if you do decide to go that way. So if you give me permission to work with the solicitor, if that's your direction you're looking to go. come up with rules and we'll figure out what the process to do it would be.
Okay, I'll make a motion to have the manager work with the solicitor to come up with options for virtual.
Mark, I have some concerns about this, and the concerns were brought up during prior council meetings in that neighboring Hellertown Borough had a meeting that was hosted in their public works, the new public works building, where some nefarious person hacked in and broadcast during a live meeting homosexual pornography. And I believe a subsequent meeting was hacked into as well. So if we're going to be proceeding, this system was designed and set up so that it would be one-way out streaming so that individuals with such bad intentions could not hack into our system and corrupt a public meeting and engage in rude conduct. So I'm hoping that any conversations you have with the solicitor or anyone else addresses that and can guarantee 100% that that cannot happen and will not happen. Because I think it's unfortunate and I think it's embarrassing, and our residents deserve better than that.
Thank you. I'll make sure I look into that as we look into this.
And as you look into this, also, I've been attending some public planning commission meeting. It's very hard to hear in the back of the room with this system, so I don't know if something can be done to increase the thing, but if anybody can ever not hear us, just raise your hand. So
If I can just make a couple of comments. So I, as a mom of 2 children, think that having public comment ability virtually is critical. Not just, it's imperative because a lot of people have obligations at nighttime that prevent them from being at 2 places at once. And I think that we do live in a society where we can put in the right checks and balances to prevent any nefarious conduct. I will note that I don't think you can ever 100% guarantee and prevent something from happening. I know our township's email system has been hacked multiple times. I think now we have very strong checks and balances in place. But I think that we should be moving into the 21st century and allow people to participate in person, but also participate virtually. And I don't know if it's part of this motion, but I would like to, or directive, but I would like to have the manager look into broadcasting the other committees. So we have planning, we have EAC and other committees that meet in this council chamber. And so I would like the manager to also look into looking at our other committees that meet here in the chamber to see how they can be broadcast. I think the more participation and the more public viewing, the better.
I agree with that it should be for all the committees, commissions of the township.
Can I add a comment?
I'm sorry?
Can I add a comment?
Yes.
So I'm not sure. It sounds like it might be a little complicated getting it set up with the back and forth interactive, but could we possibly proceed with phase 1 of just getting the other meetings online, like this is streamed, the council meetings, at least so people could view them while they're happening?
Yeah, I think we
For
can.
the ones that are held here in this chambers.
On YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Right.
We do that, yeah.
We will work on that. We may have some growing pains, so bear with us, but
Did we make a motion?
I don't think so.
Okay. Go ahead.
I make a motion to direct the manager to work with the solicitor in creating a two-way communication for our township meetings to allow for public comment, and also have the township manager and solicitor look into making all of our committees that meet in the council chambers be able to be streamed and do whatever you can do as quick as possible. So if it's easiest to start the streaming first, then do that.
Okay, I'll second that. And we have a roll call, please.
Ms. Padera, how you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. DeYoung?
Yes.
Mr. Benoit?
No.
Motion passes.
Okay, next we have to reopen the 2024 budget. We've, according to our schedule, meeting schedules, it's scheduled to happen on January 11th at 6:30. And do we need a motion?
Yep. Motion to reopen the budget.
Okay. I'll make that motion to reopen the budget.
I'm not understanding the purpose of reopening the budget. It's my understanding that we're sitting on $9.5 million in reserves. Is that right, Kathy? Is that yes?
Sorry, approximately, yeah.
Yeah. And to run the township for an entire year costs us about $9 million, right?
Approximately, yes.
So we have more money in savings than it would require us to operate the township, even if we didn't take in a single tax dollar, a single host fee, or any other fee, correct? So I've already spoken about this at prior meetings. I spoke about the Wolf versus Lower Marion Township case. Again, I think that continuing to hoard taxpayer money when we are in such financial solidity is improper. And the township is flush with cash in the savings. Inflation is high, coming off of an all-time high. Consumer debt is at an all-time high. And people want to suck more money out of taxpayers, and I think that's just egregious. In doing this, I think you're inviting litigation on the township, and I think it's a waste of taxpayer money to have a lawyer trying to defend an untenable position.
Okay, per the township code, second-class code, and for our administrative code, newly elected officials have the right to open up the budget, and we're exercising that right, the three of us. So, if I can be adjourned. So, I think that this is an appropriate thing to do for a number of reasons. Number one, after the November election, there were a number of attempts. I think there was the first meeting, December 6th, there was an attempt to slash our tax millage rate in half. At the same time that there were requests to bid out additional expenditures for the Easton Road ball field, which is now over $3 million in expenses. I also recall that there was a request to our finance director multiple times to see whether we had enough money in reserves to pay for these additional expenditures on the ball field and still balance our budget. So while we apparently balanced our budget December 20th, when there was this, I think it was $0.75 reduction made, we took money out of reserves to balance our budget, which I think is inappropriate for us to be doing when we're also, I believe, under the last administration, there was a proposal for $14 million expansion to our fire services. So, and we also had a discussion about our fire trucks and that we couldn't pay for the 100% of one fire truck because we didn't have enough in the fire tax. So, I do appreciate Mr. Padonis' concern about our taxpayer dollars, and I in no way, shape, or form am interested in collecting your money and putting it in a bank account. That's not my intent. However, I don't think we should be taking money out of reserves to try and expand a ball field and at the expense of things like our fire services and other things that we have needed in our township and we will need to have in the future. We just increased our police officers, which is wonderful. And we are going to continue to need to support our township in a fiscally responsible way. The last thing I will say is, if the last administration felt that reducing the tax millage was so important, I think they would have made that part of their initial budget proposal prior to the election. Thank you. I would like to say that I was never in favor of slashing the fire tax, and they did that several years ago, and I'm hoping to find a way to bring that back to where it was so that we can have money in the fire budget. So, yeah, I do, that's really interesting because we do
We used to have a millage rate of 1 mil that would go directly into a fire fund so that we'd be able to pay for our fire trucks, our fire equipment, and whatever necessary expansions that we have, maintenance and upkeep of the various buildings. That was reduced to 0.75 mils. And now that we reduced the amount of money we're giving into the fire company, at the same time that we're looking at some major and necessary improvements for the fire company in the future. So I do agree with that, Priscilla. That was very, very good.
So, with that, I'd like to make a motion to open up the budget and to be held on January 11, 2024 at 6:30.
I'll second that.
Okay. So first, and do we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Ray, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Mr. Bonona?
Absolutely not.
Ms. Alcoff-Cordero?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, next we have on the agenda discussion of the Hellertown Area Library and unpaid invoices. Okay, so, for those of you that remember, way back in 2020, my year is 2022, we paid the Hellertown Library just for January. And my feelings that we need to pay them for the rest of that year. And to pay them for the rest of that year, according to the information that Mark provided, there would be a total of $98,237.26. Is that plus the cost of living, or does that include that?
That's the total of all the invoices. The total of all the invoices that we have.
Which includes the cost of living?
Yes, includes a COLA. It's $98,237.26.
Okay, so I thought about this for a long time, and I just feel that it's appropriate to pay them for our invoices that we were billed. And that amount of money will cover 2022. That's it, because there are other things happening after that. So I would like to make a motion to pay the Hellertown Area Library an amount of $98,237.26.
I would second that motion.
May I speak on this? So, there was no contract that was in place at the time that these bills were unilaterally submitted to the township by Hellertown Area Library. I'm not aware of any bids having been made and approved by Township Council for incurring these expenditures, which total $98,230. I think that if this proceeds forward, you're inviting litigation because, again, there was no contract that bound the township to make these payments, nor was there any bid, public bid, that would require the low bidder, require Township Council to consider awarding those services to the low bidder. There were no services that were provided, as I recall. Hellertown Library, when these payments were demanded, advised that unless and until payment was made, the Lower Saucon Township residents would not be receiving full services at the library. And yet what you're proposing here is to pay them for those full services which were not rendered. This process began with this council seeking usage data and financial information that was not shared with us. This process began with a request from this council requesting proportionate board representation for the monies that were paid by Lower Saucon Township Council. Secretly, the Hellertown Area Library filed an application with the Office of Commonwealth Libraries to remove Lower Saucon Township, but yet what's being proposed here is to reward that behavior. Hellertown Library failed to give Lower Saucon notice of its application to OCL, and in fact, we did not aware of it until OCL had already made a decision to remove Lower Saucon Township. Lower Saucon Township approved and physically delivered to them by the former interim township manager Peter Marshall and Tom Carochi a $50,000 donation with no strings attached, plus the Lower Saucon share of OCL money. And then in addition to that, just a few months ago, I believe it was in August or September, Hellertown rejected a $250,000 offer from Lower Saucon Township for 2 years of library services.
Oh, we're not talking about Hellertown Borough, we're talking about Hellertown area libraries.
I'll get to my point.
Okay, hopefully.
So, I have an email here that was provided by Tom Rieger, Hellertown Borough Council, to Kathy Hartranft, Hellertown Borough Manager. This email is dated January 4, 2022, 5:40 p.m. And the subject of that email is Hellertown Area Library Association. And there's an email here from Tom Rieger, and he said, I had a phone call last night from Ken, I believe the name is Ken Solt, he was on the board of the Hellertown Area Library, and it says the following: Council's direction is not to meet with LST. And this is with regard to meeting to discuss trying to reconcile the library issues. So here, Hellertown Borough President is directing a board member for the Hellertown Area Library not to meet with us. So I disagree with you that we are not talking about Hellertown Borough. And I'll add another email to that. On Friday, October 7th, 2022, Tom Rieger sent an email to Michael Courier, Hellertown Borough Solicitor, copying Tom Rieger, Kathy Hartranft on it. And he says here, for what it's worth, this is a bit wrong. LST granted Link Treadwell the ability to sue the library, not the borough directly, but as its primary municipality, it's essentially against us and our residents' interests. So Mr. Rieger seems to acknowledge that Hellertown Borough is one and the same with Hellertown Area Library. So they refused to respond to right to know requests. The Office of Open Records determined that Hellertown Library is a governmental entity subject to right to know and must respond. They still refused, and they appealed it to the Northampton County Court of Common Pleas. And in that litigation, Hellertown Library sought discovery. It was approved by the court, yet Hellertown Area Library refused to participate in that discovery. President Judge Daly ordered Hellertown Area Library to produce discovery, and at this point, as of last week, Hellertown Area Library is in contempt. And the judge last week entered an order finding them in contempt, and apparently said during the hearing, that if they don't show up for a deposition, that he's going to put them in jail.
Okay, are you going to wrap this up soon?
No, I'm not. I'm going to finish reading what I have to say. So Hellertown's former director moved away, refused to appear for a deposition before agreeing to date to appear for a deposition. The township's lawyer traveled from Harrisburg for a no-show, waited around. They didn't have the courtesy to tell them that they weren't going to show for a deposition that they agreed to appear for. And now they're subject to a motion for sanctions for violating the court's order and continuing to hide information. So let's talk about what's going on in Hellertown. The police chief.
The agenda item is for the unpaid invoices with Hellertown Library.
Hellertown Borough Police Chief, no, I'm not. Hellertown Borough.
In my opinion, you're off the record.
Can you speak? So
Then
the
we're going to
police chief
recess the
charged.
meeting if you don't be quiet.
You can recess the meeting. Cloudy circumstances, Mayor Heinzen sees the department is missing $120,000. There's an ongoing state attorney general investigation. They would provide for their own police officers, and instead they're depending on the state police. It goes on and on.
Passes out of order. According to our recently passed, out of order.
Meeting's adjourned. We talk about anything. How was your New Year's Eve? Good?
I make a motion to
Well, it's adjourned. It's too
reopen
short. What do you mean?
It ended at midnight.
They haven't called it back in session yet. We can talk about anything.
She's working on it.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Ray, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Mr. Benonis?
I never voted to close it.
Ms. Altoff-Devera?
Yes. Okay, the agenda item is discussion of the Hellertown area library regarding its unpaid invoices.
All right, I'll finish my comments about the library. I think it's utterly unconscionable that people on this council would advocate rewarding mismanagement, malfeasance, and corruption.
If I may, thank you very much.
Stupidity is not an intellectual defect, it's a moral one, and that's where this problem lies.
It is what it is.
You got morals? Wow.
It is what it is. Victoria, thank you so much. I happened to be attending the township council meetings back in 2021 through 2022 when I witnessed the unfortunate disagreement that occurred between Lower Saucon Township and Hellertown Area Library. What I do remember, and I think that the record will reflect in all of the various emails that went back and forth between the township and the borough and the township and the Hellertown Area Library, is that for the year of 2022, our township residents received access to Hellertown Area Library without buying a Hellertown Area Library card. And during that time, Lower Saucon Township did not pay anything to the Hellertown Area Library other than what would have been the monthly cost for library services in the month of January. I know that we do have lawyers on this board, and I'm sure you all heard of the word conversion. So conversion is the term of taking something without paying for it. So what occurred in 2022 is that Hellertown Area Library received state funding in the amount of, I think it was $20,000 or $12,000 for Lower Saucon Township's share of residents that go to Hellertown Area Library. It was to include Lower Saucon Township's population in their service area. So that is the only amount of money that they received in addition to the $8,000 or $9,000 we paid for January services. It's also my understanding that during the time that Hellertown Area Library requested the state funding, the Lower Saucon Township's manager was going and meeting with Hellertown Area's manager and the library to negotiate a long-term contract. And in good faith, the Hellertown Area Library came to the township in November seeking approval of this long-term agreement that had been negotiated between Hellertown Area Library, Hellertown's officials, and Lower Saucon by virtue of our manager that was attending those meetings. So from my perspective, I feel that Lower Saucon Township took something and did not pay for it. And during that time, the library was in a position to try and service our residents without getting any repayment. And I feel that it is in a good faith offer to Hellertown Area Library to see that Lower Saucon Township does not steal. We do not take services and not pay for them. And we don't try to look for legal loopholes to avoid payment and laugh in their face. So I do agree to pay Hellertown Area Library the remaining balance of the services that we took in 2022. With respect to the concern about litigation, I will note that in May of 2022, Lower Saucon Township had a council meeting, and I was sitting in the audience and not up here, but during that council meeting, our council majority voted to remove Lower Saucon Township from the service area from the state. So then we knew at that time that we were no longer going to be included in the service area for Hellertown Area Library's state funding. So what does our township go do? We filed a lawsuit. So instead of people suing us, we were the ones that sued the state, claiming we didn't have notice after we made a motion in public asking to be removed from the service area. So I personally don't think that we are on any shaky legal ground. I would direct our solicitor to look into that, but I certainly feel that we should pay for the services that our residents received in the year 2022. Thank you.
We recognize the motion to which you speak that was done in 2022 was actually withdrawn prior to Hellertown taking action, Hellertown Library taking action to remove Lower Saucon Township. But the question that I want to pose to the solicitor is this. Is it accurate that contracts with purchases greater than $23,200 require formal bidding and public notice?
There are exceptions to the bidding rules.
Okay. Is an exception, what would be an exception that would apply to this matter?
A sole proprietor.
Okay, this is not a sole proprietor, this is a 501c3 nonprofit.
No, I don't mean a sole proprietor like a single person owned business. I mean, this is the only entity that provides the service.
No, there are other libraries that provide services. So the Lehigh Library.
It's a long story, Mark.
I can certainly look into it.
So there, I'm not aware of any contract that would require us to make this payment. Is there a contract that you're aware of? Mark?
He's
That
just
I'm aware of,
appointed
yes.
and applied contract.
Well,
I'm not aware of any contract.
if there's a contract that we're bound to fulfill, then that would be an obligation to pay, correct?
I'm not aware of any contract.
Right, but if there was a contract, then
I
we would.
would have to read the contract.
Right.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor. I made the motion because I'm in support of doing this. Laura, you seconded it. I'm sorry that I agree with what you said. And let's have a roll, please.
Mr. Benonis, how do you vote?
No.
Ms. Alta-Cordero?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeo?
Yes. For the Hellertown area library budget. Okay, thank you. So, moving on, then, we have authorized the township solicitor to review current township litigation and provide summary to council. I'd like to make a motion to direct Mark Reed and his firm to look into and meet with our former solicitor and provide a summary to council, I don't want to say as soon as possible, but as soon as we can. Sorry. And is there a second to that?
If I can just amend that to also include consultation with any other attorneys that were representing the township. I think Hellertown Area Library special counsel on the right to know and also the Hellertown Area Library litigation. So I would want to direct him to also look into that and consult with defense counsel as needed just to get up to speed. To figure out where we are. I'm sorry, Mr. Freed, but there are a number of pieces of litigation that we need to know what the status is. Thank you.
And I'll amend my motion to include the addition of her language into it.
Does that include payment to those other attorneys that are being consulted for their time in getting Mr. Freed up to speed?
Say that again?
Sure. As Victoria said, she's talking about having consultations with other attorneys who have been involved in this litigation on behalf of the township. Those attorneys' time is valuable. If you're going to be taking up their time and requiring them to participate in conversations with Mr. Freed, I think it's only fair to compensate them for their time in sharing that information. They've already provided information to council in numerous council meetings. The pleadings are available for review. And those are certainly available for Mr. Freed to review and be provided by the township staff. But for outside counsel who's no longer involved in these things to incur the time and expense is really unfair to them.
Okay, I'm going to amend my motion to say as needed, if needed.
I personally think if they wanted to bill us for whatever phone call conversation that they have with Mr. Freed, then I would welcome their bill, and if it's reasonable, I don't see a problem with it.
Well, let's just say if needed, because if he's looking at something, he doesn't need to contact them.
Right.
If it's black and white, then it's there and he doesn't need to.
Right.
So if
Of
needed.
course, if there's no phone call or communication, there would be no charges incurred.
I would leave it up to Mr. Freed to determine to what extent he needs to speak with the other attorneys to get himself up to speed.
Okay,
So your
so,
motion does include payment to the other attorneys for their time and expenses, speaking to Mr. Freed if it's needed. Is that correct?
My motion was a motion to direct Mr. Freed. If we receive bills for those, like I said, I would entertain them, and I think it would be, if they're reasonable, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
that's not on the
But
agenda.
that's not my motion.
Can I, these are ongoing litigations? These other
Yes.
counsel are counsels of record in the litigation?
Yes.
Thank you.
Right, and the only thing on the agenda is what we just talked about. So there's a motion on the floor, roll call please.
Need a second.
Second.
Oh, no.
Wait, I made the motion, sorry. You-
No,
Somebody
I
else
made the motion, Victoria made the second, and we amended it back and forth and amended it back and forth again.
Okay.
Ms. Abdul-Qadir, how do you vote?
Yes.
Ms. Wright?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Mr. Bonones?
No.
Motion passes.
Okay, next on the agenda is landfill consultants. Council will discuss hiring a landfill consultant. As you know, Larissa McNamara retired a couple of years ago, and she has not been replaced. So we're actively looking to replace her skills. And let's see, so I'd like to direct the manager to see if he can find who will replace her.
I second that if I can add something to it. So prior to, I think it was 2021, our township used to have a number of consultants that were specialized in various fields, including, engineering of a landfill and how a landfill is engineered separate and apart from hydrology and other things. And it would provide additional information to the township as to how our landfill was operating. Since 2021, we have not engaged the services of any extra consultants to help us maintain and manage the landfill. I've attended numerous landfill committee meetings from 2021 on, and I haven't seen any other reports come forward that used to be part of our landfill ongoing maintenance and management. So I think it would be appropriate to direct our manager to look into additional consultants that would include a landfill engineer and consult with the solicitor to determine what other engineers he feels may be necessary to make sure that we're not only addressing the current operations of the landfill, but any anticipated issues that may come forward, including a DEP permit for phase 5.
Because there's an existing landfill there and we need to keep on top of it.
Yes. Thank you, Priscilla.
So, okay, roll call please.
Ms. Wright?
Yes.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Mr. Bonones?
Yes. I'm sorry, no.
First one cuts.
Oops. Psych.
Okay, can you hear me better? Mark, I moved the thing on top of this. Can you guys hear me better?
You speak louder.
I'm trying.
Priscilla, what I moved mine like literally right underneath.
I know, but I'm turning the changes, so I can't
Hold
do
it up
that.
to your mouth when you talk.
Hold it to your mouth. Okay. Next, we have authorized advertisement of lawn mowing and lawn treatment bids.
This is a bid that we do every other year for our lawn mowing and our lawn treatments. The Public Works Director and I are preparing it. As soon as we get it ready, we'd like to be able to put it out for bid. So we're looking for permission from the council to authorize the advertisement of the lawn mowing and lawn treatment bids. Obviously, those bids, once they're open, they'll be brought back to you for improvement of the contractor and the amount.
Mark, I just had a question about the treatments. What treatments do we usually do for lawn?
We do some herbicide and some pesticide and fertilization, and we also do seeding and aeration.
Have you ever consulted with EAC to determine what type of pesticides, herbicides, all of those things that you would be putting in on the ground? Have you ever consulted with them to see what would be the most environmentally sensitive options and talk to the various bidders about that?
I do not think that has been done in the past. We have a, I'm going to call him an ergonomist,
Ooh, that was really good.
who, from Delaware Valley University, who comes out and looks at the fields and makes recommendation per what is growing on the field each time,
Okay.
so that the fields can be maintained level for the multiple use sports that use them.
Okay.
They did that for the lawn care, too, so that they're cutting by the creeks and waterways. I don't know, it's some memory from the past.
Yeah, not that I know for mowing.
I would support it. I would just, if there's the ability to consult with EAC on, or, see if there's anything that we should be doing to make sure that we're not getting rid of any plants or things that,
This is just on the athletic fields.
on the athletic fields.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not just
Okay,
the
sorry.
athletic fields and the pond where we have some problems with.
Okay.
Okay, so you're good on that agenda item?
I need a motion and a second.
Sorry.
I'll make a motion.
So the motion would be to authorize advertisement for the lawn mowing and treatment bids for 2024 to 2025.
Correct.
Bid specifications are being prepared by the Director of Public Works and the Township Manager. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call please.
Mr. Giovanni, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Benonis?
Yes.
Ms. Kadera?
Yes.
Ms. Wright?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, getting there. Moving on to council and staff reports. Mark, would you like to go first?
The only thing that I have for you this evening is a Happy New Year. Welcome back to 2024, or welcome to 2024. We just got here. This Saturday, January 6th, from 9 to 1 p.m., we will be collecting Christmas trees at the Yard Waste Collection Facility on Polk Valley Road. We will also be collecting trees on Saturday, January 13th, and Saturday, January 20th. So if you'd like to get rid of your old Christmas tree, please bring it out to the Yard Waste Collection. That's all I have.
Okay, Jason, for council reports?
Yeah, I just have a handful of things here, Priscilla, thank you. There's an article that was in LehighValleyNews.com, December 27, 2023, and it talks about comments that were made by the Pennsylvania Secretary of State with regard to the voting errors that were taking place in Northampton County during the November 7, 2023 election. And we noted that the errors were serious, that they were human errors, and that they were mistakes that should have been addressed and identified. Steps apparently were being taken, and the Secretary of State said that Northampton County did not follow state recommendations, it did not follow practice, it did not supply enough emergency ballots, and the state is looking into steps to step up efforts to prevent these things from happening. I also received a report from Lower Saucon Township resident whose vote was not tallied. She encountered difficulties with the machine, was given a provisional ballot. Actually insisted on getting a provisional ballot and was reluctantly given one. That ballot was not tallied by Northampton County elections. That has been reported to the police and also the Northampton County District Attorney for investigation. So that's all I have at this point.
Okay, Laura?
I do not specifically have a council report for today, so since I'm losing my voice, so I'll just pass.
Okay. I can hardly hear you.
I know, I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice.
Okay. Victoria?
I do not have any specific council report, my first day, so I do appreciate everybody's time being here this evening. One thing I did want to ask, if the solicitor could look into, at our December 20th meeting, there was a direction for our then solicitor, I think, to, with the manager, I'm not sure who, was to write letters to the IRS about some information that occurred with St. Luke's University Health Network. And I personally don't think that anything that St. Luke's University Health Network has anything to do with the township. And I don't think that spending any money, additional money or time on our resources in pursuing anything with the IRS or corresponding with them is appropriate. And so I guess I would like to know from the manager if we did in fact send something to the IRS yet,
Yes, that was completed.
Okay.
As requested.
I guess I would like to direct the township solicitor to correspond with the IRS that we are not interested in pursuing anything further, that I don't think it's an appropriate use of taxpayer dollars to be investigating St. Luke's University Health.
Okay, is there a motion?
Yes.
I'll
On the
second.
agenda.
Oh, I can't do that, sorry. Can we put this on the next agenda?
Yes. I would like, if I can't make a directive, I would like to have it
Involve cost.
dealt with at the next agenda.
Okay, anything else, Victoria?
No, that's it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, I guess that leaves me. So, over the weekend, we had horrendous landfill gas complaints in the area. People actually smelled it on Route 78. And we called it an
Not the first time.
an apple butter.
It's been going on, I said, you can smell it there for years already.
Okay, and so anyway, could we write a letter to DEP and tell them that we're really having a lot of complaints from residents and that we're asking them to look into it and respond back to why this is happening? Okay, thank you. I'm not making a motion, I'm asking you to. Okay. Okay, so I guess junior council. You have nothing? Happy New Year. Having a good time tonight? Different meeting, huh? Well, welcome, and we'll see you next time. So, okay, so let us know what's going on at the school.
It's not 11:30.
So, moving on, solicitor, would you like to say something?
I don't have any report, so I'll pass. Thank you.
Okay, well, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, engineer's not here. Now we're going to the public comment period for non-agenda items. And this would be for new policy, and it's a 5-minute policy, and it's open to everyone. Okay, first on the list, though, we have Bob Glasgow. Bob, would you like to say something? Is he here? Yes.
Hello again. Okay. I cut this one down to 3. I was used to it, you know. Now, my recommendation to everybody here, if there's a complaint about the landfill, call DEP. I called last week, went through to Wilkes-Barre. I had dealt with the local guy several times, and he gave me a new number. I'm mighty willing to hand it out if you want it.
Yes, please say that now.
Even if just passing by on the road and you smell something from a landfill, call the landfill. If you're going down the road on apple butter, as my wife and I did a week or so ago after a heavy storm, there was water running down from the area where they're working now onto the road, not up out of the road sewage system, down off the hill from where they're working. Call, call, call. They most likely will respond to the complaints made from the residents. They will register all complaints, even if you're on the road and you call, they will register those, so they will count. If they get 1 call from one area and 20 from another, they're going to respond to the area where they're getting the 20 calls, not the 1. Remember, people, there are people like us fighting another landfill north of us. Wilkes-Barre is a whole lot closer than it is to us. If you want to get some action, call, call, call. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. And that's the phone number, email to the landfill.
I'll have to give it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Take the next person.
The next person is Frank Colombo. Frank?
Group chat.
Hi, I'm Frank Palumbo, Kings Mill Road. You don't know what a pleasure it is to be here tonight. This has got to be the best council meeting I've been to in the 18 years I've been living in this municipality. I'm very proud of our newly elected council. I hope they do great things. They've got a lot of wrongs to right. I'm fully supportive of every single one of them. We as a township have spoken. We've given a direction to these newly elected council what we're looking for. They've heard us loud and clear. People have crossed party lines because that's how important this township is to them, and they were not fans of the exiting council. I hope that the council members that are still on, Jason and Tom, can work with our new council. I know these ladies are not going to hold grudges. They are very fair, they're very open-minded, and I believe they have the best interests of this township in mind. Happy New Year, and this is my best day ever in this township for the reasons I just mentioned. So congrats, I wish you all the best. Take this township to the right direction. I don't need 5 minutes, or I don't even need 3 minutes, but I'm glad to see you guys have been already changing some wrongs. And it's not going to be, not everyone here will be happy with some of the decisions that are being made. However, we are a democracy. We voted you folks in for a reason, and I hope you guys, and I trust you will, follow the will and the direction of the people. And if the community does not agree, there will be another election, and I don't believe that you guys will not follow through on what you've promised. So again, I wish you all the best. I wish the best for this township. I wish the best for all council members, including those who did not recently get voted in. But again, I do hope that they can find a way to work collaboratively, and we all have the right direction to move this council, or to move this township forward. So, Happy New Year. Thank you.
Okay, Russ Sutton is next. Stacy started at 5.
I'm very happy with the direction that everything is starting to take. Like I said, I have hope now where I didn't have hope before, and that was for many years. I've been coming to council meetings for many years, and this was one of the best. And if you don't think people participate, everybody should look around and see how many people were here. We keep getting nobody shows up, but guess what? People do show up and people do care. And I do really appreciate all the hard work you've done to get to this point, and all of your other 40 years worth of work that you've done for this, and all the work that everybody's done to get here. I have something that's a little different that I want to ask about, and maybe you can't give me an answer, but maybe you could find out. I know, Priscilla, you're aware of it, that we have logging going on behind our properties. And I know it's a state thing, but the problem is they were only supposed to be there for 3 weeks. They've been there for 3 months. And every day I hear crashing and they're tearing trees down, and they're not doing selective harvesting the way it's ruled by the state. You're supposed to be using chainsaws and bulldozers, but not a machine that grabs a tree and pulls it out of the ground literally and swings it and destroys everything with a 100-foot radius. I have pictures of this I brought before, how they cleared the land. It is strict, and it's a combination of 50 acres. One person owns 30 acres, the other person owns 20 acres. And every day for the last 3 months, I hear crashing and they're ripping everything down, and all the animals are starting to come down out of the forest because we're destroying their nature, their habitat, and we're destroying everything that's there. And these are Caterpillar machines that compact the soil, so there's going to be a major problem with runoff up there. Now, I spoke to the engineer, and he was supposed to get back to me. I'm going to continue to call him, but I don't know if there's been any, looks like there's for sale signs up there, but I'm not aware of anybody, done anything or plans or anything for drainage or for water runoff. So that's my major concern. We'd like to know what's going on up there.
Can you get back to us on stormwater?
I appreciate that very much, Mark, if you can get back to us. I did speak to the engineer, and the engineer We were gonna meet, we were gonna go up there and actually look at the properties and show them what's going on. And I know it's a state issue, but the problem is, it's affecting a lot of people. That's 50 acres, that's a big area.
And I think that now that you're a new member of the EAC,
Yes.
that Kobe and Laura, you can work together on trying to look into logging and see.
Yes, that's why I wanted to be on that, because it's really, the environment's very important to me, and it should be important to everybody here, because we only get one Earth, and then once we destroy it, it's too late.
Thank you. Okay, so was there anybody in the audience like to speak that did not sign this? You want to go? Okay, go ahead. No, let Janie go.
So I have a question.
Say your name for the record.
Janie Heckler, Coastal Road. We gave, Lower Saucon Township gave $50,000 to the Southern Lehigh Library for no reason. There was nothing provided for that money. How do we get it back?
Thank you for your comment.
The bird dog.
Okay, Bob, did you want to say another? I'll give one more chance.
I just wanted to give the phone number.
Oh, go ahead.
So this number is for DEP odor reports. It's considered the emergency number. You can leave a message on the emergency line, or you can leave a message for the non-emergency during regular business hours, which are 8 to 4, Monday through Friday. If you call them, they were courteous enough to get back to me. The number is 570-826-2511.
Can you repeat about?
Okay.
Certainly. 570-826-2511.
Okay, that is one of the 3 numbers that I have, and I think that's the one that says that if this is an emergency, please leave a message. And most people get scared and hang up and don't want to leave a message, but you gotta hang in there. You gotta
Leave a
stay
message.
on the line, and you have to leave a message. Sometimes you get lucky, and you get a live person answering that call. If you do, you lucked out. If you didn't get a live person, leave a message with your name, phone number, all this information that you're smelling an odor complaint, you'd like to call back. And if you do that, they will call you back, and it'll be documented according to their
policies.
yeah. But thank you for that. But please, you got to, because, you know, people get panicky and so this is an emergency, but really, you know, they're not supposed to be smelling landfill odors. It's not in their permit. Yes.
Mary Bessington, Fairway Road, Westeros. Why, if we are in such dire need of fire equipment, which is priority, over everything almost, why can't we stop funding the Field of Dreams and someone has developed?
That went out to bid,
Uh-huh.
okay, and it went out twice to bid, and there's a contract, and.
But I thought it went a third time. I thought it had a third increase too, didn't it? Is that contract still in play?
Twice to bid? It might have gone out 3 times.
If it's not picked, why can't we stop? If you haven't picked the contractor for that third thing, let it rot.
Yeah, the contracts have been executed, and I'm not a lawyer, but I don't
Well,
think
we're sacrificing fire for that. That's what this comes down to. And I gotta ask, the table that the landfill consultants back here are sitting at, do we provide that, or do they bring that themselves? Bring that table yourself?
I'm not with the landfill, man.
He's the press.
He's the
press.
Okay, are you here at the landfill?
I am, and there was no other room, so we kindly offered.
Come over.
So you brought the table, it's not my
No.
taxpayer paying for the
It's
landfill.
you paying for it.
Okay, I'm paying for a landfill table. Okay, I don't like that.
No. The
We
press
provided a
is,
table
we
for
were press.
press.
No.
All right.
No, the press is allowed to have a
All
table.
right. They're in the ground floor with us here in the landfill. They know everything that's going on. Why don't they pitch money to the library? Why don't you build us a library?
Thank you, Mary Beth.
I just wanted to give some answer to Mary Beth. So for the ball field, I definitely agree with you that that's an issue. But I think I would just ask our solicitor to look into, see if there's anything we can do. With the expenditures that were approved, I think that we are bound by what the last council majority bid for, but I would like the solicitor to look into it. So.
I agree. Never know. Okay. Okay, can you state your name for the record, please?
Mark Ozimek, Reddington Road. And I came here to say, well, first off, congratulations. The reason I came up to the podium here is to express my concern about the increase in the smell of the landfill at my house and up to the bridge on Reddington Road. So I was gonna put my name in for some things, and I was told I'm better off where I'm at because God knows I could end up in trouble again. You know me. But does the township have anyone that actually goes in and inspects that landfill?
Yes.
Weekly, monthly, whatever? A physical drive-through, walk-through, anything.
We have our host inspector, municipal host landfill inspector. You want to talk about twice a month? He goes and he inspects the landfill and sends us a report. And that's going to be.
The host inspector for the township from our engineering firms there twice a month, and there's a DEP inspector there twice a month.
Okay.
And they submit the reports to us. They were being put on the website. I don't know if that's continuing. That's continuing. Okay, so they're on the website.
Good enough.
Okay, thank you.
Have a nice
Anybody
day.
else before we move to adjourn? Okay.
Madam President, De Leon, Councilwoman, right, Councilwoman, my beloved, I'm talking This is my first time. This is my first time speaking on this podium, and I just want to tell you that I'm very proud of the three of you. How you handled yourselves, and tonight was absolutely joy to sit back there and listen to common sense. And I can tell you that 61% of us that voted for you that night, we put our trust in you. We know you're full of integrity. We know you have that. You've made friends with us. The only thing I just want to tell you is, whatever you do, don't take that friendship for granted, which I know you will not. I know you won't do that. And I believe that you said that now with the council meetings that for those that can actually, through Zoom, they can actually question in on Zoom as well. Will that be?
Well, we're anticipating that.
We're participating. As an airline pilot for United Airlines, please do that, because there was a meeting one night, I was in London, and I wanted to ask a lot of questions and I couldn't do it. So thank you for doing that, because I might be on the other side of the world one night and I would like to ask questions as well. But speaking of that carrier that I fly for, we have a saying there. We have a saying of good leads the way. It does. It works. That airline I work for is doing wonders right now because we believe good leads the way. I know you three will see the good. I see it already. I see it already. I see changes are coming. And all I can say is aim high. The stratosphere is the limit. God bless you. Three. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I have a question. Maybe you go to the mic.
Nicolette Zabrowski. I'll do my whole address, Jefferson.
No, you don't need addresses, that's illegal, I guess.
If I have a question about the landfill, just in the past week, when you're coming off 33, there's a big hump. It wasn't there before, and it is now. And I've had other people on Facebook wondering, well, where it's usually like this, there's a huge, anybody else see it? I mean,
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
It's been there for a while now.
yeah, I mean,
You
can I find out what that is?
You can contact me with any questions and I can try to help you.
Yeah, I'd like to know what that is, because it's very obvious.
Email the manager or give me a
Email
call.
you.
Yep.
John, I think it's John, I think
Thank
it's about
you.
Fallon Dirt.
Okay, going
I
once,
think that's what
anybody else would like to say something? Okay, if not, then, nobody business. Is there a motion for adjournment?
I'll second that.
Victoria, I'll second. Laura did it. Can't hear Laura doing it so well. Okay,
Gotta
Laura,
make this quick.
and roll call please.
Ms. DeLeon?
Yes.
Mr. Benonis? Yes. Ms. Saptopoulos?
Yes.
Ms. Reddy?
Yes.
A civil meeting.
Good job.